Happening now, an update on the conflict of interest investigation into how one Jamestown regulatory group doled out American Rescue Plan Act money. And major improvements are proposed for the Chautauqua River Basin, plus an inside look at the new drone unit helping law enforcement across Chautauqua County.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first we start today with a Chautauqua County woman accused of masterminding numerous break-ins at a local storage facilities and residential properties as well. Rachel Blanchard is accused by the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division of perpetrating burglaries at storage unit facilities in the town of Portland and Westfield, alongside with residential break-ins in the town of Portland this month. Blanchard was taken into custody on Saturday by the Sheriff's Road Patrol at a mobile home park on Route 20 in the town of Portland. Now, among property allegedly stolen during the crime spree includes a 2005 Honda CR-V and various credit cards as well. Blanchard is currently in county jail where she faces a slew of charges including burglary and grand larceny connected to the theft of a motor vehicle. A Jamestown police recovered a quantity of illegal drugs during a traffic stop last week on the city's north side. Officers arrested Kyle Lewis, who was a passenger in a car pulled over last Friday for traffic violations. Lewis, who was wanted for a federal arrest warrant for allegedly fled on foot prior to the vehicle coming to a complete stop. He was arrested following a brief foot pursuit. Now, during a search of his possessions, officers allegedly located methamphetamine fentanyl mixture, along with digital scales and a large sum of cash. Lewis was held at Chautauqua County's jail on the federal warrant in addition to a slew of new drug charges. Well, the investigation into a possible conflict of interest surrounding how a Jamestown development group distributed a slew of American Rescue Plan Act funding continues. Our Bronson Rasmussen has more in the latest update from officials.
On March 1st, the Jamestown Local Development Corporation approved grants to a slew of local businesses, some of which were owned by family members of those on the committee's board. Councilwoman Kim Eklund and GOP mayoral candidate tells WNY News Now that members of the JLDC board had no clue that allocating funds to those businesses would violate their bylaws.
We met again last week and were handed, some information. Unfortunately, I can't remember ever receiving a copy of the bylaws, so I am reviewing that, as were other members of the JLDC asked to review that.
For Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist, he believes a conflict like this is hard to avoid in such a small community.
We're a fairly small community, right? We might be the largest city, but the reality is that typically someone somewhere owns a business, right? And you probably know their mother, their cousin, their uncle, right? And we're just trying to get money into their hands so that they can keep the people employed. They can continue to make renovations to those buildings that are starting to fall down. And they're able to really contribute as a small business to the vibrancy of Jamestown's economy.
For members like Eklund, she feels that the board voted on the allocation with no malice intent.
We all voted out in the open. Everything was conducted in the open. It's just a matter of, if we made a mistake, we need to learn from that mistake and we need to move on and grow. It was not done in ill faith. It was not done behind a closed door.
As for what's next, the city of Jamestown is working to determine if giving out those funds did indeed lead to a conflict of interest violation.
We're still working through our federal partners to try to solve those issues.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Brunson, thank you. Plans to make major improvements to the Chautauqua River Basin here in Jamestown are in the works. Known as the Chautauqua River Activation Plan, the effort is a collaboration between several groups and government entities. The project is broken down into three parts, addressing the river as a whole and its north and south basin. The North Basin Plan touts a redesigned shoreline behind the National Comedy Center, featuring signature gardens, tiered seatings, and place marking items, as well as a mural. Now, for the South Basin, the planned improvements include a kayak launch, a welcome kiosk, and boat dock. Furthermore, river corridor projects are also in the works, including navigation aids and obstacle removal efforts.
Economic activity is always centered around the water, whether it's for business or industry or recreation. So opening up the waterfront and providing opportunities to really recreate on the water, it's so important to the revitalization of our community.
Now, the strategy also includes plans to foster business development, specifically in that South Basin, where a restaurant and watercraft rental company could operate at McCrae Point Park. The full plan posted online at chattacoin.org. Well, the community came together over the weekend, raising thousands of dollars for a Jamestown area soup kitchen. On Saturday, the St. Susan Center held their 20th annual basket fair at the Fluvanna Community Church. Now, the community donated over 120 baskets, which were raffled off, alongside several door and grand prizes, which included a patio set, smart television, and cash prize. And the St. Susan Center's biggest supporter, Debbie Warner, spoke to us. She says she looks forward to taking part in the event every year. She's proud that the center does more than just feed those in need.
Socialization for those that are homeless and tend to be loners, and they get fed. You know, not only in the stomach, but they get fed by being friends with people and socializing. It's very important, I think.
Now, after tallying proceeds, the community helped raise $24,000, which will be solely used to further the center's mission of helping those in need. Certainly great turnout, and what a great cause to donate to as well. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast today. Chief Weather Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us. And Andrew, Saturday was a pretty good day to be at a benefit like that because we were dealing with the rains, the winds, and it was pretty nasty depending on where you were.
And a bit of stormy weather too that kind of took us off guard, but hey, the stormy weather provided us with some beautiful photos, some photos of the rainbows and the photos of the clouds. This one is one of my personal favorites, taken by our own Alyssa Wright. Kind of looks like somebody's doing some storm chasing out in the Midwest, but alas, this photo of the clouds and the sun behind the clouds was taken in Kennedy on Saturday. We also had some photos, some rainbows. This photo on the left was from a rainbow from Erie, Pennsylvania. This was sent into the Erie News Now from a view in Erie of the rainbow over the bayfront. Another one here on the right was taken by our own Justin Good of a slight rainbow in Randolph. So some beautiful weather pictures. If you have any photos you'd like to share with us of the weather, you can always share it on social media, WNY News Now, or the First Defense weather page. Happening right now, clouds have moved in, rain showers are moving across the area, but these rain showers are relatively light and staying mainly as rain, but they will mix in with some wet snow showers later in the afternoon and into the night. Yesterday we made it to a high of 47 degrees and the low was 31, which is just above average, 1 degree above average for the high and low. And the record high for today was 75, set back in 1989. The record low of 11 degrees set back in 1966. So here's the forecast for the afternoon. Mainly light rain showers, but they will mix with wet snow showers at times this afternoon into the evening. Not really expecting anything in the way of accumulation. With a north wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour, and high temperatures today will range from the upper 30s to the lower 40s. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we'll see you back in a bit. Thank you very much. As we continue, we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the new Sheriff's Office drone unit here in Chautauqua County. And later, a breakdown to the new child sex abuse lawsuit just partially settled here in New York State. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, Follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at
Hunting
Caitlin
on private
Armstrong.
land has been quite the experience.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Local law enforcement will have a new tool available to them as the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office is prepared to start using drones this year. Preparations began last fall when an anonymous member of the public donated funding totaling around $50,000 to purchase the equipment. Since then, the department has been training several of its members to operate the drones and getting them certified with the FAA. In cooperation with other agencies, the Sheriff's Office hopes the technology will give search and rescue teams added capabilities when looking for lost individuals, which is especially important in difficult terrain here in the Southern Tier.
Efficiency is a big thing. Covering a large area in a short amount of time can be achieved with the drone that wouldn't be feasible with just boots on the ground. It'd take a lot of resources to cover a large area to match the amount of area a drone could cover.
Officials stress that no taxpayer money was used to start up this program. The department hopes to begin rolling out the new program here in the coming months. Well, a partial settlement between sex abuse survivors in the Diocese of Rochester parishes and 2 insurance companies worth more than $75 million was announced last week by attorneys representing the victims. The settlement splits financial responsibility at $55 million from the diocese and parishes and a $20.6 million from 2 of the diocese insurances, LMI and LMI underwriters. The settlement is not final yet as it still needs to be approved by a bankruptcy court and voted on by roughly 475 survivors involved in the case. The Diocese of Rochester was the first diocese here in New York State to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy following the passage of the Child Victims Act. Now, the settlement will still allow survivors to sue insurance companies who could face hundreds of millions of dollars in legal exposure. Well, some New York State lawmakers are calling for an end to cannabis sales that skirt state law. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein talks to lawmakers about the issue and what's being done about it.
Retail cannabis stores are opening across the state, and while licenses continue in the process of being distributed, some state lawmakers are concerned about other marijuana operations known as sticker stores, where retailers sell items like stickers at a high price and gift marijuana products with the purchase. Assemblymember Phil Palmisano says there is more the state could be doing to combat this issue.
We need to go in and shut them down. I mean, if you were selling liquor out of your business and you didn't have a liquor license, they'd come in and shut you down immediately and fine you substantially. That's what we need to be doing with these illegal sticker stores.
The Senate and the Assembly introduced legislation this session that would penalize these types of stores. And just a few days ago, Governor Kathy Hochul proposed legislation to increase civil and tax penalties and strengthen enforcement efforts towards sticker shops. But some lawmakers say Hochul's proposals don't go far enough.
There's just going to be a slap on the wrist to these businesses who are making boatloads of cash. We've seen it in the stores.
The Office of Cannabis Management is currently working alongside law enforcement to manage these types of operations. They are seizing unlicensed products and sending cease and desist letters to stores without licenses.
We must make sure that the unlicensed operators taking place do not, usurp the economic opportunity. Do not, confuse the public as into where's a safe place to consume and purchase cannabis where it is not.
Knowles adds the Office of Cannabis Management's efforts to combat unlicensed operations is also a step to ensure they adhere to their equity goals. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Meanwhile, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, climate activists protested the Biden administration's recent approval of the Willow Project. The approval of the $7 billion oil and gas drilling project in northwest Alaska allows ConocoPhillips to operate 3 drill sites on federal land. It's been reported the area holds up to 600 million barrels of oil. Critics of the project were quick to condemn Biden, who campaigned on eliminated drilling on federal lands during his 2020 campaign. Despite the Biden administration's efforts for various concessions to the project, climate activists are still outraged and are mobilizing across the country and here at home.
We, at the end of the day, still told people and showed people that there are people out there that care about the environment and want to live here in the next 30 years.
Now, those in favor of the project say it will create more jobs, boost domestic energy production, and ultimately reduce energy costs for consumers. Well, coming up next here, recovery efforts continue after violent and powerful tornadoes swept through the southeast this weekend, killing 26 people. And later, a new bank has stepped forward to purchase the SVB failures. We explain the latest update that you need to know in terms of our financial institutions after our full weather forecast.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down.
Slow down.
And move over.
move over.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we got some light rain showers falling out there. Current temperature is 38 degrees at the Jamestown Airport with a northeast wind of 5 miles per hour. It was a windy weekend, windy Saturday out there. The highest reported wind gusts I saw in western New York actually came from North Tonawanda in Erie County with a report of 73 miles per hour. Back here in Chautauqua County, Dunkirk at 67, Fredonia at 60 miles per hour. The strongest wind gusts were definitely near the Lake Erie shoreline, and here in Jamestown at the airport, 49 mile per hour gust, and you get out towards Cattaraugus County, 41 miles per hour in Olean. Well, we got severe weather, some storms on Saturday, which means spring and summer weather is ahead, and which means we need some more We need some more spotters, and this coming Wednesday, the National Weather Service in Buffalo will have their first online storm spotter session, which covers the summer weather of thunderstorms and tornadoes, and you can register online for that at weather.gov/buffalo/skywarn. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. There is a weak low pressure system that's currently centered over Ohio that's bringing some light rain showers to the region, which will mix with some wet snow showers as we head through later in the afternoon into the evening. So let's time it out on future scan. Mainly light rain showers, but as colder air works into the region, it's going to turn over to snow showers this evening and into early tonight. Again, we're not expecting much in the way of accumulation, maybe an inch, cold into an inch on the highest hilltops, and then that comes to an end overnight, and high pressure will begin to build in by tomorrow, and that's going to keep us dry through the day tomorrow and into the early part of Wednesday. After a few clouds tomorrow morning, we should go partly to mostly sunny skies through the rest of the afternoon, and then we stay dry through the first half of Wednesday, and then more rain arrives by Wednesday afternoon. And now the extended forecast, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Through middle of the week, temperatures will be slightly below average in the lower 40s. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, afternoon rain on Wednesday. We dry it out once again on Thursday, and then another storm system similar to last week, and will bring some more widespread rain and possibly even some more gusty winds Friday night into Saturday, with temperatures in the low to mid 50s before we dry it out once again by Sunday. It's going to be a day of rain, sunshine for the week ahead.
Hey, at least it's not all doom and gloom there.
It's not snow.
Right? Yeah, that's
Heavy
true.
snow.
That's true. We could have, like, a foot of snow or more. Andrew, thank you very much. But let's get some headlines now from around the nation. And the death toll from last week's explosion at a Pennsylvania candy factory is now up to 7. At a press conference Sunday, West Reading police announced all missing people are accounted for, including 2 bodies which were found over the weekend. The mayor there says 3 buildings around the R.M. Palmer Company are being condemned as a precaution. A candlelight vigil for the victims will be held Friday. The Palmer Company released a statement over the weekend saying that it's, quote, devastated by the tragic events, end quote. An investigation into this incident is underway. Well, after violent storms killed 26 people and injured dozens in the South, communities that were severely impacted or destroyed are beginning the long cleanup process. Ivan Rodriguez reports on the work to rebuild from the ground up.
Say, like a lazy Susie of a smoker.
Even though Joshua Haynes can't do much to physically build back the city of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, it didn't stop him from wanting to help a community in pain, one meal at a time.
I told my wife yesterday, hey, we ought to just go cook for him.
Haynes and his friends weren't the only ones wanting to help. It's the kind of gesture those who lost everything could appreciate.
And I can't find anything at all.
For Erwin Macon,
really can't recognize most of this stuff.
Everything he had was taken in an instant when the tornado that tore through this trailer park also claimed his home.
A lot of people are in a whole lot worse shape than I am. Losing everything, one thing, but being injured, some loss of life.
Loss of life reportedly, including a couple who died when the tornado flung a nearby semi-truck into their home.
But I know that they're in heaven right now. And I was told that they passed away in each other's arms.
A new satellite image showing the deep scar through the town left by the tornado. A catastrophe that will be felt for a long time.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here but a lot of wood, bricks, and rubbish. There's nothing here.
In Rolling Fork, Mississippi, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Ivan, thank you. Sunday afternoon, state and federal officials saw the damage for themselves. The director of FEMA says right now the greatest issue is housing everyone whose home was lost or damaged. Well, the failed Silicon Valley Bank is in new hands. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation says First Citizens Bank and Trust, based in North Carolina, has purchased SVB's deposits and loans. SVB branches will reopen today under the First Citizen Bank name. SVB was the nation's 16th largest bank when it failed back on March 10th. Well, coming up next, we highlight a regional TikTok creator who's connecting millions across the nation from our very own backyard.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
No.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, social media sees a wide variety of content, from cooking recipes to DIY projects, travel accounts, and more. But one Northwest Pennsylvania man has gained a large following on social media, his account featuring his four-legged friend and their adventures. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp has more.
On the popular social media app TikTok, there's an account that goes by the name Professor Pouncy. The account features a Bengal cat named Pouncy and his owner Adam Hartman, exploring the outdoors together, mostly on a bike.
Ever since he was a kitten, he just wanted to go outside, and I would take him out on a leash and I would walk him, and he would just kind of kept dragging me outside further and further, I guess.
Hartman says he never intended to share their adventures on social media.
I started posting my photos on a forum for Bengal cat owners, and they were pressuring me just to start posting the photos on Instagram, and I was like, whatever.
But the account took off. 4.5 million followers on TikTok and less than 500,000 on Instagram get to see their adventures, including riding around Presque Isle in Erie, Pennsylvania.
I ride often with Pouncy, but not usually in public areas, not too often.
What do you think, buddy? Hartman says he gets the same reaction from people when they notice a cat is on the bike.
Look! Can we see the kitty?
See, that's fantastic.
That's real cool.
Good for you, man.
I love it!
Oh, it's a kitty.
Hartman says there's a lot of trust between him and Pouncy on these rides, but Pouncy loves to tag along. So far, Hartman says the fame hasn't gone to Pouncy's head.
He definitely knows that he's something special, but he is very humble about it.
In Washington, D.C.
I've never seen anybody ride their cat in a box on their bike before.
Rachel Knapp reporting.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. And Pouncy is certainly a cute cat, and I can see why he's got so many followers on TikTok. But it's just so funny because you see a lot of dogs who maybe ride along with that, or in like a wagon behind a bike. But to have a custom-built cat carrier for a cat who, they're kind of hard to control sometimes outside, right? Some people take their cats on a walk, and I've never understood really how that works. I mean, they must be trained, but even then, they're so independent. It's like if they see a bird, they're going for it,
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call that a cage or whatever you want to call it. That is very unique. I wonder if something actually like that exists, or he just kind of made it himself.
I mean, it looks like he may have made it. So that's a cool feature. And in today's world, a lot of people you talk about like social media influence or what people like to watch, and I'd imagine pets are probably among the top things, right? You post about a missing dog or a missing cat. I mean, that thing's shared like 400, 500 times in the first hour. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'd watch these corgis on TikTok, and it's just so hilarious. And obviously, like their owner, of course, is the one putting the video together. But it's cool nevertheless.
That's not a real thing. You might want to take down on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
'cause that's,
you could sell it. You really, really could. Well, that's going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over Randolph's Peaches and Cream Park. Of course, a little bit of rainy out there. If you missed anything we talked about, it's available at WNYNewsNow.com.